It is moving day here during the 2022 Birdie Open presented by Gatekeeper Media. This is a PDGA A-Tier. We are back here at the Iron Hill Disc Golf Course in Newark, Delaware. Run Productions bringing you this coverage. I'm Felix.
And I'm Conrad.
Conrad, we saw Emily Hanson take a commanding lead there. She's got a 2-stroke advantage heading into this second round. What does she have to do to kind of maintain here?
That's exactly what she has to do, is maintain. She did a lot of good scrambling, a lot of good putts, and she really didn't compound any mistakes that she made. So if she can continue to do that, she can continue to push forward and lead this tournament. Here we have hole 1, which is a par 4 playing at 540 feet. You want to make this initial turn off the tee, biting off as much as you can to get around the corner. Once you do that, you'll have an approach to this gauntlet of trees that are guarding the fairway till you get to the green. The green is slightly raised with a few trees around it, but once you get down there, it's pretty much an easy putt on the elevated basket.
From Providence, Rhode Island, Emily Hanson.
Emily Hanson coming in with a 2-stroke lead over her card mate Eden.
Yeah, Eden joining us. She is the new face on the card here. We do have a division of 6 women. Michelle Frazer joining us again after round 1.
Emily lets that off way to the right.
On that spotter. From Delta, Pennsylvania, Eden Fornoff.
This is our first time having Eden on coverage. She has a very well-rounded game, both sidearm and backhand, opting for the forehand here on hole 1. Very nice shot there to start her round.
State College, Pennsylvania, Michelle Frazer.
And now we see Michelle Frazer in her patent-pending plaid pants.
Yes. Going with that Blizzard Katana, pushing that left side the entire time. It's fading out a little early though. She'll be over there just on the edge of the left-hand side rough.
Depending on how far in there she is, she'll still have a play out.
Had a little bit of wind that we're contending with here for round 2. We kind of saw some of it at the end of round 1. A little breezy today for round 2, and there we see Emily already breaking out the big forehand. Again, out of trouble on the right-hand side. If you watch round 1, we saw that she has a great, well-rounded forehand and backhand game, great scramble game, and a solid putt.
That's about everything that you'll need on a course like this.
Absolutely. Michelle scrambling her way out as we hear the woodpeckers doing work.
If I remember correctly, I think Eden is not predominantly forehand, but very strong and confident in her forehand game.
Yeah, I think if given the choice, she's going to go and kind of rely on her forehand a little more than she will her backhand.
Emily here with a great upshot to the basket, leaving herself with a simple putt. You can hear the wind rustling the leaves a little bit.
That one got a little bit away from Michelle there, maybe a little further out than she would like for her putt.
And this will be our first time seeing how well Eden putts.
Well.
Very well. That was center.
Getting the birdie there to start things off on hole 1. Big smile on the face there of Eden Fornoff.
Ooh, just a tad bit low. Great pace. Just the elevated basket got a little bit best of her. Oh, and of Emily too. Isn't that's the first time I think we've seen Emily miss a putt like that.
Yeah, she's been pretty consistent in making those there. We're going to see a bogey there for Michelle. Same for Eden after scrambling well to get in position. And Eden taking the only birdie on a hole that played 0.67 strokes above par.
Wow. Maybe I need to work on my forehand game. 2 forehands in a putt.
Yeah. Hole 2, this is a tight par 3 at 333 feet from the FPO tee. You have a bit of a gap here to hit either center or right hand side of these trees. You want a hyzer that's going to be pushing this right hand side almost the entire way and getting a gentle finish. You need to control your skip here coming into this green to give yourself a look at the birdie. There are plenty of rocks and roots though that can affect how your disc is coming in on landing here at the end. Tight technical shot, but a fun one to execute. We'll get to see Eden's backhand here. Taking the inside line there.
It flips up, but it looks like it gets tumbled down. No.
Yeah, straight
not on that
down.
side. Emily here. Taking a more right approach, but getting a kick that brings it back a little bit to the left side. Still outside of circle 1. And Michelle with her
Blizzard
Katana.
Yep. Gets knocked down a little early as well.
Yeah. So now everyone is going into scramble mode to get to the green.
Eden pushing this one a little further right, but she may have a look back there. There are some gaps and outlets that'll give you a line at the actual basket.
I wouldn't be surprised if Emily was running this.
She puts it right up on the pole, or the koozie.
Oh, Michelle finding a great angle to approach to the basket. Gets just past it by about 20 feet. She'll have a putt coming back.
Yeah, she's crafty. She's played these Northeast courses a bunch. She's got all the shots. Nice putt there. Eden. With 2 very strong putts to start her round there.
Mm-hmm. Michelle correcting from the first hole putt and getting that one in.
That's more the Michelle Frazer putt that we're used to. And Eden with the drop in par.
Wait, did Eden
Emily,
change bag?
Boy, am I going to screw this up the entire round? We're only 3
just
holes
go ahead.
in.
Just may have to change it to Hanson.
Hanson and Fornoff. Got it.
I think Emily changed bags, didn't she? I thought she had a squash bag.
She did have a squash bag. Round 1, you're right.
So here we go on hole 3. This is a par 4 playing at 650 feet. You want to get out the initial gap there with the low ceiling to get into the field. Once you get into the field, you can then decide which angle and gap you want to approach the tunnel shot leading to the basket. There is a casual creek that runs along the left side that you typically want to avoid. Any shot from there is going to be a difficult one till you get to the green, which is elevated and perched on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah, very treacherous green.
Oh wow!
Booming sidearm here.
This is a great
Fornoff,
play.
because I would have messed up her name if I said the first name. Sit down.
Ooh, okay. It got away from the edge there, so that gives her room for another shot. But that was a great play to get over to the center of the gap, approaching the basket.
About the same play that we saw from Emily during round 1 over there on the left-hand side.
Yep.
She was able to execute well from there.
Maybe a little further left than she was the first round, but...
Ooh, I like this.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful. Nice long S shape to that shot there for Michelle. She finds herself in the middle.
We have Emily deciding on her angle of attack through the tunnel.
Swing on back.
I thought she pushed it a little too straight, but she did not.
Don't do it.
But it did it.
Trickles down into that creek bed. We'll see what her options are. She's got a very good forehand. It looks like she'll probably have a little punch-up forehand she can throw.
Michelle going to the same disc again. Stayed turned just a little bit as it went into the gap. So she is, I guess, right around circle 2.
Eden lining up the forehand again.
But this isn't a green that you really want to run the basket.
Not at all. Uh-oh, that's a little early there. Bud gets a friendly kick to the middle.
Going back to the forehand again for the approach.
Yeah, it's one that you want to land probably 20 to 30 feet short and kind of let it slide on up and stop.
And that was like the perfect landing area. And it still managed to roll. Emily,
she opted for the backhander. I thought she might have had a cleaner forehand look, but it doesn't look like she did.
She was committed to that.
And that's gone into the creek bed as well. Goodness.
Yep.
This hole played as the most difficult hole on the course during round 1. I'm going to pull up the stats here and see where it's at.
What did it do for round 2? Tell me.
Round 2, it actually played a little easier. Round 1, it played a full stroke over par. Round 2, it's 0.83 strokes above par, so almost a full stroke over.
Wow. Michelle hits the band, but manages to stay up top with the basket. We have Emily putting from below, and this angle just closes the
Great putt.
amount of angle you have into the basket, but it's not a problem for
Now she's got to climb this hillside.
Why should go that way?
like the mighty mountain goat, and she gets her disc out.
Now Eden, taking a little bit of relief from the creek.
Yeah, getting clarification from her card mates there on what stance she's allowed to take there.
And she just misses that to the left. I was going to say she had an advantage over card mates because she's so much taller, but maybe not.
And dropping in the bogey there for Michelle.
And not falling down the hill.
Yeah.
Oh.
First little hiccup we've seen from Eden so far.
I think she may have rushed that one a little bit.
Yeah. Taking the unfortunate double there. And just like that, Emily, with the bogey, has jumped back on top. We have another par 4 here. Hole number 4, 675 feet. Again, you have this big, wide field to throw into for your initial shot. These ladies will want to throw something that's moving left to right once again. The gap doesn't really tighten up until you get into this area here for your secondary shot, which needs to penetrate past the skinny gauntlet of trees here. You have the creek bed running along the left-hand side and behind the basket, but there is also out of bounds that roadway back there. It is OB. The kind of catch-all ditch does seem to catch a lot of the approaches here. This looks turned over too much here.
She did this again in the first round.
Yeah, and that one ends up kicking back over a little bit. Not a bad angle, as long as she doesn't go too far over. She'll be close to that creek bed there that kind of separates hole 3 from 4. This tee shot lines up well for Eden's forehand, and she has done a beautiful shot here, moving back towards the middle.
That is where you would drop it if you had the opportunity. Ooh,
see the wind.
See the wind and hear it.
Yeah, picking up big time there, and Emily doing well just to keep her disc in the middle there.
Eden throwing some MVP disc here down the right side.
Keep going.
And it comes all the way through clean.
Sit down. What a shot.
And ends up in circle 1. That is great.
Just have a clean birdie look there. Michelle with the turnover line. Slides up nicely. Very well done.
That'll work for a putt.
A couple of birdie looks coming up for those two ladies. Emily right up the gut there. Pretty much where she was during round 1.
Mm-hmm. Marking her disc so that she's up a little bit. Oh, but she misses it. Airs it out to the left just a little bit.
Second putt that's looked a little bit off from her. And Eden hammers the birdie putt in.
Oh,
That went off the band there. You can hear and see the leaves rustling.
mm-hmm. The flag isn't quite moving, but everything else is.
Oh, I guess we must have missed a shot there from Michelle. That was for her par. Oh, that's right. She was off on the right-hand side, so she pitched over back. Unfortunate double there for Emily, as Eden and Emily kind of flip-flopping back and forth so far to start this round.
I think that was a 3 strokes swing there for them too.
Yep.
Hole 5 is a par 5 coming in at 690 feet, slightly uphill the entire way. Just a gauntlet of trees on the left and the right. If you are on the left or right edge, you do have a little bit of scramblability, but you definitely want to be center cut as much as possible as you approach the green area. This green is then guarded by a plethora of trees and rocks. The goal is to get up there and have a tap in as much as possible. We'll see Eden. Yes, Eden go here off the front. Oh, she hits that tree. With her forehand, she'll still have the ability to scramble for her second shot.
Yeah, it was kind of calm right until Michelle stepped up to the box, and then the wind just kind of kicked in, and you can see it's whipping her hair around as well. But doesn't seem to bother her at all. She squeaks through the trees there.
Mm-hmm. And she's just in front of the trees that she was in front of or behind the first round. So
yeah. This looks pretty good. Fading a little bit left. Let's see if she can squeak through. And she's pretty much where Michelle was during round 1. We'll see if she has that framed up gap. And you spoke about that forehand.
Yep, and that is exactly what I expected. A little flexion shot to stay in the center of the fairway. That is great.
So good. I think it's safe to say that she's probably more predominantly forehand.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very well balanced with both, but you can see there's just more confidence in that sidearm there. A little bit high there, clips some cabbage and gets pushed straight down into the middle.
She'll having to resort to a standstill here.
Pushing that right side nicely. Controls the angle coming in. Nicely done. Third shot coming up here for Emily. Let's see if she can get up close here and put herself in a position for the par. Very nicely executed shot there. She should have a relatively simple jump approach from there.
Eden with another forehand as she tries to approach into the green area. It's off a little bit to the right, but it's kind of open over there, so she didn't hit any trees, but she was going to have a problem when it comes to approaching the green from that side. Emily's selecting her gap to get up there, and that should be a putt.
She might be on that down slope still. We'll see how her footing's going to look. Michelle with the floaty approach up, and maybe on that side hill. We'll see. Nice little forehand approach there for Eden.
She's definitely more comfortable with the forehand.
Yeah. Emily with a look here, a little bit uphill.
Oh.
Sit down. Not quite as strong so far with the putter as what we saw during round 1 for Emily. Michelle, however, is looking much more confident on her putts so far.
I think it's the pants.
Holes. It's got to be the pants.
It has to be the pants.
Bogey there for Emily, and Eden will tap in her putt here for the par. Another stroke gained on Emily there. She's a 3-stroke advantage so far for Eden through 5.
Yeah, Emily is 5 over for the round, 5 holes in. This is a contrast to what she did first round.
Big shout out to our Patreon community. Check us out at Ace Run Pro. Check us out at patreon.com/AceRunPro. Consider becoming a patron today. You get early and exclusive access to content, monthly and quarterly giveaways. Check us out at patreon.com/AceRunPro. And check out hole number 6. This is a par 4, 530 feet, 2 initial gaps, left hand or right hand side. Most of these ladies, I'm assuming, are going to take the right hand side. Eden may opt for the left with that big forehand. Want to land somewhere around this area here, which opens up your approach and secondary shot into this green, which is guarded by some big boulders here. Some trees on the right hand side also. There are some sneaky gaps on the right side if you do find yourself off of the fairway, but initially everybody just wants to have about a 280 to 320 foot shot off the drive and then play their shots from there.
And you called it. She went the left side but pulled it a little bit to the left, but gets kicked back to the right, kind of in the center.
Yeah, pretty friendly result for that shot. This looks pretty good. Just
if it gets around that tree, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
It would have been ideal if it got around that tree, but that's still, being on the right side kind of lines up the second shot a little bit better.
That's very
That's
ideal
where you
there.
want to go. Yep. So let's see where Eden ended up. She found a forehand lane. Is she going in between those trees? Oh, around.
Big flexor.
Wow.
Kind of stayed the right hand side. A little bit too much stability on that disc for that shot. This is the subtle turnover for Michelle. She gets
a sneak through.
A little bit of a weird kick, but there's that backdoor sneaky gap I was talking about on the right hand side.
Emily going with her forehand.
Big high angle on that one. It's panning back to the right. That was a really well executed shot from where she was. It opens up the line to possibly run it, but at worst, hopefully just take a par.
Yeah.
Eden, in the meantime, kind of has to deal with this wall of trees here in front of her.
There's a slight opening the way that she went, a little bit left of that. That would have opened up more as she got to the green. But one of the key things about playing this course is really trying to minimize your mistakes or err on the side of the mistake not costing you as much.
Yeah. Long jumper. Sneeze for our cameraman.
Bless you. Thank you. I think it was me. Michelle just putting it on the green for a tap in there. Emily, I feel like she would be running this.
Looks like she
there
was.
She was.
Yep, puts it right up against the base there. Almost a bit of, it's a little early for match play since we're in round 2, but you can kind of see Emily almost picking her strategy around what Eden was doing. She wanted to take at least a stroke here, and it looks like she's going to do that. Kind of get back in the game here and make this a closer game between the two. You see a 2-stroke advantage now for Eden as we head into a little bit of a tougher stretch here on this course.
Hole 7 is a par 3 playing at 370 feet, 113 meters. Actually, it's playing less than that because it's playing so far downhill, but you want to miss these 2 initial trees. Continue to penetrate forward while trying to move the disc over to the right. I see a forehand being an easier play for Eden on this hole, but we'll see how everyone plays it as they get to the green. Fairly open and generous for this course.
So opting for that sweeping backhand turnover.
And she gets through there's a little island of trees that she almost made it through. She's at circle 2. Again, we can see and hear the wind rustling the leaves, and oh, that was just low.
Yeah, it just kind of fell out of her hand there.
She says, oh no, as it hits the tree and kicks to the right. So both of them are short off the tee, still trying to approach the green.
See that big knifing forehand angle again.
Oh wow, I didn't think it was going to actually come out, but it started to come out towards the end. She's going to have a long look at a par save there. Eden is going high with
the top shot there. Just gets clipped down early, but she's still got some work to do. She's kind of got to get around that island of trees still that you spoke about.
Yeah. Is she looking up again, or she's going straight at it?
Gets a little bit of a tree kick there. It's
Yeah.
going to leave her a long look at best.
So Emily with a circle 2 look, putting it high. And it's going to end up about 15 feet out. First round, I would have had any worries about that putt. This round, I'm a little skeptical.
Floaty bid there for Michelle. Good putt again there for Eden. Right-hand side catching for her.
What was I talking about? I wasn't worried at all.
Never a doubt. Dropping it in for the bogey there, and Michelle taps in her par to get strokes on the entire card here.
Possibly the entire field.
Possibly. This hole did play 0.83 strokes over birdie or over par, excuse me, and there were no birdies on the field. Hole 8 is a doozy, a par 5, 610 feet, and you're fighting gravity the entire way off of your tee shot here as the drone hikes its way up. Initially, you want to land somewhere around this area here if you can. You then have a very tight line of trees that defines the primary gap on the left and right hand side. The hole then drifts slightly to the right hand side. Your gap then shifts over more to the right, leaves you with a forehand or a flex shot approach into this tiered green. A 5 is a great score to get here as this play is much longer with the elevation off of the tee.
You said you're fighting gravity. You're also fighting, apparently on this one, you're fighting the wind, the rocks, and the trees.
Yeah, in round 1 we saw after this tee shot there's going to be a lot of standstills. There are a lot of big protruding rocks that stick out the entirety of this fairway and really obstruct your ability to run up.
We saw it during round 1 that Emily actually stopped her run up to do a standstill out of safety.
All these ladies not quite getting to the flat here, so they're still fighting gravity on their second shots here. And it's harder to do, especially when you're trying to commit to a turnover line like Emily has here. Punches her right side, but you see fights out a little early to the left.
Eden stepping up, trying to go with a forehand line. Finds her gap and gets it through, making forward progress. Again, there's not a lot that you can do when you're kind of pinched and trying to stay on the fairway.
A little bit of a kick there to the right, but I don't think she got too far off of the fairway here. Emily trying to get some kind of extra footing here for her run up. She fires one off. There are trees everywhere on this fairway. And if you get off, it just gets so much more difficult because all these little ones here that you see that Michelle is dealing with like that.
Yep.
Just, they block up any kind of frame to gap.
Yeah, you have a gap in it, but if you're just off by just a little bit,
you pay a heavy price. Nicely done. Having a forehand, especially on this hole, can be such an advantage. One, it takes away kind of the disadvantage that gravity has when you're throwing uphill, and you can control your angles a little better in your spin with a forehand on holes like this.
yeah, it tends to be a little easier to hit a gap that you're constantly looking at versus one that you have to turn your head away from just a little bit.
Emily's still punching back over, trying to find the meat of the fairway, and she's done so with that shot there. This hole 8 is just playing brutal so far.
Has a very nice upshot there, hitting the pyramid of the elevated basket and staying underneath it. Eden going with a little forehand approach here.
Just
pushes it a little long, but she'll have a putt coming back. That shouldn't be a problem for her. And Michelle off on the left a little bit with her approach. Also hitting the elevated
the
basket.
top of the cake
but
there.
it's rolling. That one got a little unfair rollback.
Yeah. Has this left to finish out. Oh, touch low there.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking these ladies just want to get off of this hole.
Oh, another one that's slightly low.
Don't copy me.
Emily making the correction, hitting all the chains.
And with the bogey there after being all over the place on this hole.
Mm-hmm.
Eden with a bogey as well.
Oh,
my.
Wow.
A bit high there, and it's when you're
Yeah.
putting up into a basket like that and it's high, you get that pushback.
Yeah.
Triple there from Michelle. As this hole played a full 1 stroke over par, played as the second most difficult during round 2.
Wow. I can see it.
We just saw it.
The score show.
Yeah.
We are at the turn at hole 9. It's a par 4 playing at 555 feet or 169 meters. We want to make it through this initial gap here, missing the trees as you're turning from left to right. The hole then turns from left to right. You have another tunnel to go through with, I'll say, a couple of gaps left, right, and center to approach the green. Once you get to the green, not a lot of trees to speak of. There is a little tricky footing when it comes to it being muddy down there, but you should still be able to make the putt once you get into circle 1. Emily here putting it right down the middle. She was almost in the alternate fairway, but she's a little bit to the left of it too. Eden going with a flexing forehand, and this looks perfect.
Great shot.
Great shot.
A little bit on the right-hand side, but with her forehand, that should not be an issue for her to continue progressing up this fairway. This needs to hold a little longer and then be nice.
Oh,
A little bit of a favorable tree kick there to stop it from
I don't know if
going
that's
further in.
favorable because she's behind the trees now versus trying to be kind of being forward and out a little bit. So we'll see how she plays it.
Yeah. Tough, tight backhand out there for Emily just to get around that tree.
Wow, keep going. And she's inside the circle.
Oh, and a nice little roll, too.
Fun signature. 3 signatures after.
I have to say, I like Emily's commitment to turning when she throws. Like, everything turns. She almost does the Michelle Frazer 360, but not quite. Oh,
What am I doing?
Still a kick to the right. We've all asked that question during a round at one point or another. What am I doing? Eden here. Let's see if she can maneuver that forehand up that left side.
Ooh.
Oh, gets one of those last late pencil trees there.
yeah. I think the angle of attack on there was kind of tricky with her stance and that tree being in the way.
Good commitment to that backhand there by Michelle. Just kind of smacking her hand on her follow through. And gets
Come
a
on to the
favorable
circle.
roll out.
Come on to the circle. Come on to the circle. Just about there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird footing with the tree, but she should be able to straddle that fine.
Emily
That's
punches
Eden.
up.
That's Eden.
Oh my
That's
gosh. I almost went the rest of the front 9 without messing that up.
Eden punches it into the green. Oh, there we go.
Putt.
Nice spot. Thank you, whatever tree kick.
Michelle taking advantage of the friendly roll there at the end of her shot. Hanson here. I'm going full last name at this point. Hanson with her look.
Oh, and just a little bit low.
man.
This is just uncharacteristic from what we saw from the first round.
It's got to be the bag. She's going to switch back to the swatch bag. And
Yeah,
then
we have to tell her.
everything
We
will
have to
be
make sure she knows for round 3.
Yeah. Check out the towel Emily has on her backpack there. She actually makes those. If you check out her Facebook page, she's got some of those listed for sale. They're pretty cool.
Tie-dye towels. So as we reach the turn here,
So we've got a bit of a tight race here heading into the back 9 here on moving day at the 2022 Birdie Open. Just a couple of strokes separating these ladies here. A big thank you and a shout out to Gatekeeper Media for presenting this event. Thank you guys for checking out all the action. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Ace Run Pro. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for all the action and the rest of round 2 coming your way from the 2022 Birdie Open. And as always, a thank you to our Ace Runners, our Patreon community, always helping us get out to these big events. Make sure you join us for the back 9 coming your way next.